Welcome to BWB, the book talk show, today with these spooky moments from BWB2. Hello, everyone, and we know that we are now the end of October, where we all know that we celebrate Halloween globally. So, why not BWB teams share something spooky today? So, we thought we will bring the spooky part of us to you. Over to you, Dr. Geeta, for more insights from your spooky life scenes.
Hi everyone. Have you ever felt someone watching you when no one's around? I remember those moments vividly from my childhood. I'd be playing quietly or sitting alone when suddenly, out of the corner of my eye, I'd sense a movement. A shadow slipping past, a figure gliding by in silence. I turned quickly, but there would be nothing. Just the air and a faint creak of the floorboards. Yet deep inside, I knew something had passed by. It wasn't frightening at first, more like being observed, as if unseen eyes were studying my every move. I was a small child, maybe 10 years old, and I was an avid reader. I continued seeing these images and I didn't share this with anyone. And I felt that, these sightings kind of like fitted in with my imagination. Later, when my friends who were my neighbors, when they started sharing their stories, then I really felt spooked. My friend shared that she usually, she would wake up in the middle of the night and then she would see a figure, a lady standing at the end of the bed watching her. And I was so frightened of this. And then it started to sink into me that something is not right. And I would just, put the blanket over my head and not peep out at all. Later, when I was grown up and I was, talking to my mom and I was telling her all these stories, and then she was saying, maybe you might have seen them. And she narrated to me the house that was built, the quarters that we were staying in, it was actually built on a it used to be a war place. Like it was, what is a battleground. Kurg, at that time when the battle had happened, and it was just a cemetery, and all this, it was raised down, and then the houses were built on that. And then what I saw was really the souls of the people wandering about, and that is really spooky, right? What do you think, Sritapa? Would you like to share?
Yeah, yes. So, uh, I would like to share my spooky moments. So, it was night time. I was back from office, and I live in fourth floor, and it was quite a high rise building. And outside the building, it's just a big lawn and big trees. Okay, nothing otherwise. And there is no way someone can climb towards my window. So I was about to sleep and almost half asleep, I will say. That's when suddenly I see someone knocking the window constantly with big speed. A sound is also happening as if someone is making noise outside, and my bed head is just in front of the window. There is barely much gap in between. I was dead scared, thinking, what is going wrong? What is there at my back? And someone, as if I get so scared that I thought someone is speaking to me, and I was not able to, uh, you know, figure out whether I should get up and face it, or whether I should just go inside the blanket more deeper and don't come out of it until it's morning. So I was in two minds. What should I do? What should I do? And it was not allowing me to sleep at all. Constant knock and a constant whistle, or a kind of, as if someone is asking me to get up from the bed. I was there in that state for almost, I will say, 30, 40 minutes, where I was almost frozen and didn't do anything. And that's when, to add to it, my mobile started making silly noise. of some video started working automatically for no reason. I don't know how it's got played, and it added to my fear. And it was dark outside, and I thought now I better get up and face it, because I'm anyways not able to sleep. So I stepped out. I checked my mobile. It was just a normal video. I turned it off, and I have to dare to open my curtain and see what is at the back. That was my toughest moment. I opened the windows and I saw it was a very windy night. It was wind which was knocking at my window, as if like a person is knocking, and it was wind which was whistling and moving around as if talking. So it took quite a courage to know it's wind and not anyone. I kept looking down, who is there, who is there. But I am just hoping it was wind, because I couldn't see any figures. But yeah, that was a very, very scary night for me, because it gave a quite chill for 30-40 minutes to realize it was just a wind. So over to you, Siddharth, to add on your spooky moments.
Amazing, amazing. That was quite scary. I had a spooky moment on which I have written a book also. This was experience of Kalimpong. We had gone to visit a place where they were having a cactus show, and uh, near the cactus show there is a place called Goripur House. That's Rabindranath Tagore's old house. And when I came to know about that, I was very curious. I was like, okay, let's go there. And my sister was actually in the cactus house place, and I thought of entering this dilapidated building, very old one, looking like a haunted place. I got into it, and I was looking at the place. The building was quite a old one. There was no maintenance at all. I was just roaming around, and everywhere it was like some branches, some crooked branches coming from somewhere, and all that was there. So even the pictures I have taken have appeared so crooked. They look like so scary when I look at it now. And then I moved towards the front part of it. So the entrance from was from the back side. So we got into it, and nobody was there. So I thought, okay, nobody is there, just let's go inside. And I got into it. When I reached to the front side, somebody suddenly came out of that place. And he was so thin and like, you know, creepy in like looking only that I could like feel, I don't know, I felt like he's not a human being. He's like something different. And I looked at him and said, I didn't say anything. He tried to come out. And then he was saying, Sir, 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 he was saying something. I said, let's come out of this place. And later, I remember when I was back to home, there was some kind of energy which was pulling me. And I even got some visions that, I'm going back and, going back to that place again and again. That was when I got this idea of writing the manor, the haunted house. And that is quite a horror story. Everybody, whoever has read it, even now the audio recording has gone out. People are really scared when they read it because maybe that that spirit part of it has been sitting. I mean, it was sitting in me, and I transferred that energy into the book. So the book has become so scary now. It gives that much thrill. That's my hiccup story. Over to you, Sujata.
You, Siddharth. I read your book and the story. It was, like I was scared, to be honest. So when you described the whole scene, it's still there in my mind. Like I think horror, there's something about horror that is unforgettable. You can't forget it. So now I'm going to narrate a real incident that happened with me. It was a hospital. I had to visit a friend who was admitted there, and the hospitals have their own kind of silence. Not peaceful exactly, but you feel something expectant about it. So then I went there, long corridors, flickering tube lights, faint smell of antiseptic, that never leaves. I was early. The ward sister told me to wait. So I walked down what I thought was the right corridor. But I must have taken a wrong turn. I'm very forgetful about the turns that I take. The place suddenly looked different, quieter, almost as if that part of the hospital had forgotten time. Still, I found the room number, and there was my friend, smiling faintly, weak but cheerful. We talked for a bit, and then she told me, "Why don't you sit down?" So there was a bed opposite it, so I sat down on the edge of that empty bed opposite to her. And then the bed shook. First, it was just a small tremor, as if someone had nudged it from underneath. I thought I'd moved my leg. So I sat still, and then it happened again, rhythmic, almost like breathing. I looked at her. She just stared back and whispered, "Did you feel that too?" We both laughed nervously, thinking maybe it was the old hospital structure, old hospital bed, maybe a loose wheel. Uh, I bent down to check. Nothing. Perfectly steady flow. An hour later, my sister arrived to take me home. I didn't say a word about it. She sat in the same spot, and within minutes she frowned. "Why is this bed shaking?" she said. That moment, I swear, the hair on my arms stood up. We called the nurse. She just smiled tiredly and said, "This room isn't used much. The beds are old." But the funny thing is, when I visited again, 2 days later, the patient had been shifted. The room was locked, no explanation, no note, just that faint metallic hospital silence waiting. Even now, I sometimes wonder what was really moving that bed. So now, over to you, Jasveer, to continue.
Horror can be such a, you know, exciting, adventurous thing. Um, so this is my experience when I visited the US this year, this summer, and I booked an Airbnb in Ohio, and it was an old structure. And if you have ever watched an American movie, the houses are all lined up, the cottages all along the street, and there are tall trees and pine trees, and it was beautiful. If you look at it during the daytime, it's beautiful, and at night it can get very silent and dark. The street lights are faint, and you know as the breeze flows by, you start thinking that there are some noises around. So my daughter and me, my husband had left back for India, and my daughter and me were put up in this Airbnb, which was an old timber cottage. And since it was a timber cottage, the noises echo. They echo in the entire place, and it was very beautifully done up. The entire furniture was wooden with old caskets, and there was a living room, and the bedroom had a huge four-poster bed. And we were exhausted. We were traveling from Seattle to Ohio, and we were very exhausted, and we said we'll just fall asleep. Now once we got into the bed, in the bedroom, uh, i I thought that the window, there was some noise at the window, and I don't know whether it was the breeze or what. And it was disturbing because I had switched off all the lights, and this was a standalone cottage, and the owner stayed on the ground floor, but this was at the backside, at the backyard. I got up, and with some courage, I took my mobile and I switched on the torch because my daughter was fast asleep and I didn't want to wake her up. So I went and I slightly opened the curtain to see what was it. And it was all dark. And then suddenly, what I see is there is a bark of the tree jutting in. And what I could see is something sparkling over there. And I didn't know how to react. We were all alone, both my daughter and me, and it was a not a different city, not a different uh, state of India, but it was another country known for all these horror stories. And the entire house was an old structure. though it was very warmly and beautifully done up, and this was like middle of the night, and I looked at the mobile. It was showing 3:30 a.m., the precise moment when spirits come alive. And I could see these little two sparkling lights glaring back at me from the tree. And I just, in a rush, pulled the curtain back, and I rushed back to the bed, and I was just chanting Hanuman Chalisa continuously. And I couldn't do it too loudly because then my daughter would be like, she would get woken up. And I took the quilt and covered my face, and I said, just go to sleep. If I have to survive, I'll survive. It's okay. I don't want to do anything now. And I somehow fell asleep, I think, by 5 a.m. And in the morning, I woke up quite late. And then my daughter, she was standing at the same window while where I woke up. And I was like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Come, Mama, look, look, look. There is an owl on that window." So I was like, "Oh, this Mr. Owl was glaring at me." And it was the breeze that was hitting the bark of the tree, the branch of the tree towards the window. And all along through the night, I was so petrified. I was like, my flight is 10 days away. I don't know. I have to survive this. I want to go back home. So, yeah, that was quite an experience. And yeah, so over to you, Shritapa. Thank you.
Thank you, Jasbir, for another spooky moment from your life. And guys, by now you must have seen how BWB team has become exciting, not with books but with their lives too. And now we are visiting ghosts. Yes, we are visiting ghosts. We are watching them. We are experiencing them, and bringing up to you. Yes, it's night time. Don't feel scared. I wish you good night with spooky moments and happy Halloween. Bye bye. Tata.